Call the meeting to order. Amy, if you can take the roll.
Mayor Bogenreith?
Here.
Ms. Burhoop? Here. Ms. Hoffman?
Here.
Ms. Strain? Here. Mr. Tucker?
Here.
All right, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries, and we'll look for approval of the minutes from June 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Commissioner, Department Head, and Community Board reports.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of summarize. Mr. Baker was here at the last meeting outlining a situation with his storage units that he wants to build, and Ross had sent me some of the historical information. I just kind of wanted to give you a quick background of that. Back in August of 2020, that's when the original addition was put on. And at that time, he submitted plans, and Stockwell had indicated in this letter to Mr. Ron Knorr, who's your engineer, I believe, at the time, about the plat on sheet C5 dedicates 33 feet of right-of-way easement west of South Derby Lane. This right-of-way easement line should be shown on the plans and shall be the basis for the front yard setback. A couple other things. The City of North Sioux City Ordinance designates South Derby Lane as a collector street, and the minimum dedicated right-of-way for the collector street is 80 feet center on the roadway, as required by Ordinance 17.92020. If or when the lot is replatted, the dedicated right-of-way should be widened to 40 feet. Another excerpt is North Sioux City's ordinance requires that the lot coverage of the building does not exceed 50% of the total lot area. At that time was 50%. Provide both totals, both total land area as well as the building coverage area to be verified in the compliance with this ordinance. And then revise building layout to provide 40-yard front yard setbacks from the right-of-way. It goes on in the back, and another couple things here in regards to the drainage. It asks for provide additional calculations and documentation showing the capacity of the system, how the system is meeting that volume, and how the flow is leaving the detention system during a 5-year and 100-year flood event. How it stores those events. Include the system overflow elevations and locations. We are still considering whether or not this type of detention system will be allowed in lieu of above ground detention, and we'll follow up these comments with a phone call. C4 says provide hydraulic calculations for the 5 and the 100-year flood event, storm event. Verify that the post-development discharge do not exceed the pre-development discharge per ordinance. So that letter took place on August 4th. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it went from there, but there was a variance hearing in front of Planning and Zoning on September 3rd, 2020, asking for a reduction in the setback. It says, it was explained in the motion by Mitchell, seconded by Carpenter to close the hearing. They had a public hearing. And then a motion by Mitchell, seconded by Olson, to deny the variance request as presented. So at that point, it should not have moved forward. But then I found he did get a building permit issued on 3/19/2021 for that project. So, one of our contentions all along was the old development didn't meet ordinance. But it was built. We mistakenly, unless you have another reason why that building permit would have been issued, I don't know why, but it was our mistake. It's there. And so then as we get into this new development, and back in 2020, Stockwell was not providing the same planning and zoning that they are today. They were just providing site analysis. So after the building permit, then back in January 30th, 2026, we met with them out there, and Ross generated this letter, which kind of goes through some of the same stuff that was mentioned in the previous one. Basically, the new development he has does not meet the setbacks. It does if you go along with what was built before, but it doesn't meet it today. Also, the pervious versus impervious, I mean, the site is going to be 100% impervious, which means this will be all concrete in rooftop. And we still had some questions regarding the drainage. Where does the drainage go? And I think most of the drainage right now, it seems like it goes into the interstate right away into the ditch, which is not allowed. So long story short, the only path forward for him to do this project is for him to get a variance. And as we told him before, is you can go through that process, and we all know that that's a long, maybe an unusually long and costly process with all the notifications you have to do and all that stuff, that it was unlikely to succeed based on, we would not recommend, but staff would not recommend it. I mean, there's just no way we could recommend a project that doesn't meet all those ordinance requirements. I mean, sometimes you can get a variance for a little adjustment here or there, but this would just take too much. And so I don't think anybody on our staff or on Stockwell staff would be willing to recommend that variance. So if he wants to try to proceed on and convince the Planning and Zoning Board that a variance is in order, and the justification can be that it was, I mean, you can present the justification that it was done the last time, but it just would not come with a staff recommendation. And so that's kind of where that's at. And whether we properly outline that to him in past discussions, you know, there are emails that say, you know, you have to go through the zoning ordinance. We try to be maybe brutally honest with him and tell him his chances of success are limited, especially without a staff recommendation. So that's where that's at. That's all I have to report.
Okay. Lynn, did you have something?
I do. I would like to announce that our second ice cream social will be July 14th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Stevens Park, which is on Parkside Avenue.
And I'd like to mention that the Streeter Drive Dog Park is coming along great. We got concrete in place, we got posts in place. I think we're gonna see some fencing here soon, so it's coming along nicely.
Awesome.
So excited. I really am.
It'll be nice when we can put the finishing touches. We do have, the 2 benches from Royal Canin have been delivered, and we're looking at where we will position those. And, of course, we have the fire hydrants. That's gonna be a great thing to have at the dog park. And we have a couple other amenities. The, water fountain is here, which is very nice. It's for people first, and then the water trickles down and becomes an animal watering area. So we thought that would work out very nicely. So I think it's going to be very nice.
All right.
Well, I think our whole group does.
The boat ramp, since we started charging on June 8th, has had 124 people through it. That's the number of charges. But what we're working with the company on, what we don't have yet, is knowing how many of the season pass holders are going back and how often they're going back. So we don't have a true count of how many people have been there, just who's paid.
But that's something they can add, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think the point is it's getting used pretty well. I don't know if I've seen a lot of traffic out there.
No, probably the lowest boat traffic I've ever seen.
It's the quietest 4th of July, like,
Uh-uh.
when the lake has been usable.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful out there.
It's nice, yeah.
Lots of good comments from people.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to community input. If you have something not on the agenda, please come forward.
I'm Robert Baker with North Sioux Self-Storage, and we just heard some information from Jeff. And last week I was here, went for 2 weeks, not a word. And that's
We were preparing for this.
one of my reasons my engineer quit, because he says, I can't deal with those people. There's no organization, there's no professionalism in what's coming back. They gave us a list of 10 things. We addressed the 10 things, not a word. You know, I sent the building permit in January 20th. Didn't hear anything for months. Finally, I gave a call to Jeff and I said, can you come over here, meet with me, let's get moving on this. So they came over, we met. There's my little building. Andrew came inside with his assistant or whatever she was. And I said, you know, this building is what I'm going to get rid of and replace with a nicer, newer, professional building. He was in my building, don't shake your head.
No, I was there.
You were there, yes.
I'm not saying the plan wasn't nice, I'm just saying it does not fit on that piece of property.
Okay,
And that's what I said then, and that's what I'm saying now.
okay, so we'll go forward with this. So, I disposed of the building, thinking that the plans were gonna go forward. I have no office, I have no shop. I have to hire to have my snow removal done now, and I have no office for my customers, because that was the plan. And as you stated, the city has mistakenly led me down this road. And that's not my fault, and I appreciate that, and I'm willing to work with the city to get this resolved. We do not dump water onto the interstate. We have a professional, engineered, designed plan for water. We retain the water within the property. It goes out through the stormwater system. The 100%, you bet, just like our neighbor. The casino next door is more than what we are. So, well, how do they get away with it? Why do they have it? I asked you that question. Why do they get away with it? The casino has no water retention.
That happened in the past.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. They just, like
Remodeled.
2 months ago, resurfaced their concrete.
They didn't change the surface of same impervious. One mistake, and the mistake that we made was allowed him to build this in the first place. And we made that mistake. We're not gonna make that second mistake.
There is no second mistake.
There is a second mistake. If we let you build that, it would be in violation of ordinance, and none of the staff can recommend that. Regardless of what you say, we cannot recommend something that's going to be against that ordinance. Secondly, you have an avenue, and that's through a variance. We just told you that it was highly unlikely of success without, on its own merits, but especially without a staff recommendation. Now, he said that the 10 items didn't get Stockwell did send him 10 items. I'm reading from the letter here. Number 1 talks about the 80-foot collector's right-of-way. Developer's response, none. They did respond to number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 10 they did not respond to, which is the stormwater management plan does not meet requirements in ordinance chapter 17.4. There is no response. So we were professionally communicating with them. Because we didn't approve it is not unprofessional, it's just the way it is. And so he has an avenue forward, and that's through the variance process. If you want to take the variance process, take the variance process. Let's get it in front of planning and zoning and let them make their decision.
I've done that before. You mentioned, I was in front of the planning and
And
zoning.
they denied it.
No, we went forward.
I know, I
Gary
don't know how.
Rowan was down at my property 20 times, and he gave me the permit.
I know, that
This,
was a
this
mistake.
this is what was
Back in
approved.
2020, as I said earlier, you went to the planning and zoning board for a variance. It was denied. Sometime between that and March 18th of 2021, you got a building permit. And that was a mistake to have given you a building permit. You should not have gotten a building permit for that, because it was not in compliance with any of the setbacks and any of the requirements, as I read in the first letter. Now, water under the bridge, we let you do that, that's fine, but we're not gonna do it again. So if you want, you're gonna have to go in front of the zoning like you did the first time and get an approval, and then we'll give you a building permit.
You just told me I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
So you met there with me on that day.
We
We went
told you
through
at that
and-
time that it was a waste of time.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
Then
You
why
just-
did you have
At the
Ross?
last meeting, you said,
Why did you have
Andrew Gill
Ross?
just told you not to waste your time and money.
Exactly.
And that's
That was
exactly what he s-
after the fact.
That was after that
That
meeting.
day, you told Ross to put together a projected items of what we need to do to go forward with this on the planning and zoning. You told him to do that. I have the letter. It's got,
March 31st, 2016. That's just the letter I was just reading from.
and it doesn't say that you're wasting your time. It tells me what I need to do. There's confusion here.
Okay, let's straighten out the confusion.
And-
Go in
and-
front of
and-
planning and zoning and get a variance.
It's too late now.
Okay, well,
You've
yeah.
done it
I'm
again.
telling you, I told you
So,
then, I
okay,
tell you now,
so
and it's not gonna pass.
I will be moving forward with this, and I will go forward with my project. We will be putting semi-trailers and storage containers on that property with zero setback, just like all the neighbors.
Okay.
So they will be out on my property line, which is North Sioux, Derby Lane. I own that street.
But we have, there's a right, there's a
There's
easement
a
across it.
questionable, McLaury
Well,
checked it
that's
out.
up
It's
to you.
questionable.
That's up to you, I guess.
So if you want to fight that, you want to go through the questionable zone or right-of-way, we can certainly do that. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a bad guy. You know when we had the flood? You know what we did? We had people calling, and they're looking for places to put their stuff. We opened up our place. We didn't charge them anything. It cost me thousands of dollars for that flood.
Well, if this
And-
commission thinks we should go ahead and grant it, we'll
And so we're trying to be a good person. I'm getting a little irritated here, and you can tell, and I'm sorry. And I apologize for that right
Oh,
now.
I am.
And I want to work with everybody. But when I've got a neighbor that's got 100% concrete, we have concrete that's been there for 40 years. We could just leave it there and put storage trailers and semi-trailers there and
If that
make it
meets-
look terrible.
If
And
that meets zoning requirements,
it
so be
does.
it. Okay, well then let's do it.
That's not what I want to do. I want to put a nice
You can't-
office building there to make it look good with the community.
You can't do that on that piece of ground. There's not enough ground there.
There's plenty of ground there. Did you not look at the engineers?
Did you not hear what I said about the 80% impervious limit? You'll be at 100%.
There's 12 properties up North Sioux, up Derby Lane, that don't meet that. And you let them remodel, redo, whatever.
We'll never let them add anything new. So,
I don't want to argue about this. I mean,
well then don't.
you know, then don't, just go away and, okay, so I pay the taxes, I pay the insurance on that street, because I own that street. Nobody can tell me I don't. I own that street, so I'm gonna do what I want to do with that street. You know, if you're gonna treat me this way, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make the street the drainage. We're gonna take up that concrete and we're gonna make a drainage ditch in the street. Would that suffice?
If that's a threat, I guess.
No, it's not a threat, it's just would that suffice to what your needs are, what you want?
No,
And then that would also
That would be in
would not
violation
be,
of the easement.
you know, part of the 100% concrete is the street, because I own the street.
You don't own the street.
Yes, I do.
Is
You
there-
want me to show you I own the
You
street?
granted an easement across it. I don't know.
No, there was no easement granted. Ask McLaury Engineering. There was one granted for the front property, and it did not extend down to where my property starts,
I don't have any.
because Zort owned both properties.
We can't, we will not recommend what he wants to do, period.
So I'll never be able to have an office. I'll never be able to have a place to park my skid loader, to do my snow removal. So,
I-
I'm not trying to do any threats, I just want to work with somebody to get this done. And you're letting other people do it,
We're not
but you're not letting me do it. You let Deuces do it. You did. You
It
did.
didn't change the.
And you've got a city employee out there mowing their grass.
Rusty, do you go mow their grass?
Out along the interstate.
There's no grass
On the interstate.
I don't know the interstate.
He was just out there the other day mowing.
There's no grass on Deuces.
Chris, this,
Yeah, I think we do need to move on now, but
Okay, that's fine, and I'm sorry for, you know, taking up your time and trying to do this, but I mean, I have no choice but, but to put storage containers and semi-trailers, and that's what it will look like hell, and it will be bad. And that's not a threat.
But are you within your property?
Oh, yeah.
You can't put anything in the public right of way, or even an easement, you can't put any.
I'm on my property doing that.
I know I have a utility pole in my front yard, and I hate it there. And we went through the whole process of summary judgment and everything like that, because there's no written easement for the electrical pole. But they came back and told us, because you can see it, it is a part of a visual easement, and that's the way it is. They have a visual easement, whether it was recorded or not.
Okay, we'll go back to the question I asked 4 years ago. If someone gets killed on that street, who is responsible? That's my street. I own that property. So be careful when you answer that. Who is responsible?
It sounds like a legal question to me.
Jeff, I mean,
Exactly.
we must have a survey of that.
My understanding was when Greg designed that road, he had that all taken care of. There's an easement on that road, is that correct, Rusty?
66, 33 Wolf West.
So I don't know I don't know where we can go. We're not gonna solve this easement question here. He has stated his intentions, I have stated the staff's intentions. There is an avenue through planning and zoning. That's all I can say.
When you were there, why didn't you tell me, leave this little building here and don't take it off of here, off the property, because this is gonna be a problem? You didn't tell me that, did you?
I thought I did, but you must not be
You
remembering.
didn't. Otherwise, it would not have moved.
There's a couple other people there, so we can ask them too, but
We can certainly ask them. But I would not have moved it. That would have been selfish on my part or stupid on my part. But I don't know where we go. I mean, there's no higher authority than coming here, and I don't know what to do. I mean, but
Jeff, is it possible that he puts the same building back or not? Or was the building not in compliance?
the building was 100% in compliance.
the building might have been.
100%.
You guys recall that a whole lot of things that used to be a residential lot back in the day. There used to be a two-story house there, and that garage that he had as an office was a garage for residential tourist that. They got remodeled back in the day and became an office for the car lot. There used to be a residence there years ago. It used to be residential.
He's 100% correct.
He wanted to put a building there, plus there's a bunch of storage units there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 storage units and
Wow.
can't read it, 40 by 40 building,
40 by 50.
40 by 50, so if you got rid of the storage units, you could theoretically move that building to the back, and it would still we would still run into some issues regarding impervious versus pervious setback, maybe not the setbacks if you moved it back far enough. But I think we'd still have the same questions as to the drainage.
These would be all issues that should be addressed with the Board of, with Planning and Zoning for a variance.
Well,
review.
yeah, it'd be first
So-
addressed with staff and then the plan.
Not here for determination at this point in time. So this is public input, which you have provided, and I would recommend that we move on.
And I thank you for all your time. One thing that I would ask you, could you please, after 4 years, look into that street issue? If someone is killed on that street, it's my property. I'm responsible for that, correct? Yeah, that was the question 4 years ago. I waited for the answer and I still don't have it. So I'm still looking for that answer. Because that's my property and I pay the taxes, I pay the insurance on that. So, thank you, and I appreciate all your time. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, other than sell my business and move out of North Sioux. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay, moving on to the agenda. Number 1, flood recovery, Corps of Engineer levee repair and deferred maintenance. First item is not the non-structural alternative.
Yeah, this is kind of a formality, but when they, as you recall, the Corps of Engineers, the city of North Sioux and Union County are working on a levee rehab project that would rebuild and repair the levees from the 2024 flood, plus complete some deferred maintenance from the city and the county over the years. And to do that, one of the first things they have to do is get us to sign off on a non-structural alternative, saying that we don't want a non-structural alternative, and a non-structural alternative would be, instead of repairing the physical structure of the levee, we remove the levees and get rid of all the development and buildings in the floodplain that it's protecting. You know, another example would be floodproofing. They said 99% of levee sponsors do not go with a non-structural alternative. They might do it in a rural setting where there might be only 2 structures that they can waterproof, and then they can just get rid of the levee, but that's not the case here. We do not want a non-structural solution here. We need a structural one. So with this, by authorizing Chris's signature on it, we're telling the Corps that we do not want a non-structural alternative. We want the structural alternative.
Do we need to take action on that?
Yeah, it looks like that's approval.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to reject the non-structural alternative?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Next is cost-sharing agreement for the GI flood management study.
Yeah, the Corps of Engineers is now asking Union County to be the main sponsor of the flood mitigation, or the GI study that I've been talking about. We're to the point now where the local entity, which is now Union County, needs to come up with the $1.5 million match that I've been referring to. That comes over 3 years. We had a meeting the other day between Union County, Dakota Dunes, North Sioux City, and the city of Sioux City, and talked about how we could split this up 3 ways over 3 years, which would be $375,000 per entity. I'd like to have the county sign the agreement with the Corps at their commission meeting tomorrow. One of the things that we talked about within the city group was working out a cost share agreement that I'll be bringing in front of you in the near future as soon as it gets finalized. But I'd like to be able to go to the county tomorrow when they have their meeting and tell them that we have committed our $375,000 to this effort, just to keep this ball rolling. I don't want to put it off anymore. I think all of the cities agree that this is a very, very important part for all of us, but you know, in our case, it's probably the single most important thing that we're doing right now, and we want to keep that going. So what I'd ask you to do is make a pledge of $375,000. I'll follow it up here in the coming, maybe the next meeting or the meeting after, with a formal agreement that will be approved by the city of Sioux City, the city of North Sioux City, Dakota Dunes, and Union County, talking about where our what level of participation we'll all be at, and at what time those payments have to be made. We shouldn't have to put in the whole 375 up front, but if we needed to, we could to keep this ball rolling. There's still $250,000 worth of help out there from CDBG-DR, but as I indicated in past meetings, that's all we're going to be able to use for this particular study.
All right.
I would make a motion that we approve a commitment of up to $375,000 for this study.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
So I'll go to the county commission meeting tomorrow and relay that message, and hopefully they'll pass that along with certificate of lobbying and some of the other initial requirements. And we can, once we get that signed, the study will continue.
All right. Next item, North Shore reconstruction update.
Yeah, Ross provided me an update here. Utility contractor has completed all utility work east of Penrose Drive except 3 storm sewer inlets that cannot be installed until Mid-American relocates their gas main. They have 2 crews on site, are now proceeding with storm sewer installations, sewer and water service stubs, and other miscellaneous utility work between Penrose and Dakota Valley Elementary. The grading contractor has completed the remaining removal work and has begun final subgrade cuts and cement subgrade stabilization between Penrose and Leisure Lane. That's an important milestone because that will provide a much better access for the local homes once that subgrade is treated. And then over the next few weeks, the utility contractor will anticipate completing all remaining utility work on the project, which includes minor water main work, storm sewer installation, and final sewer service stubs. The grading contractor anticipates completing cement stabilization of the subgrade between Penrose and Leisure Lane by the end of next week, which would be this week, including under the recreational trail. Then we'll proceed with final grading work and subgrade stabilization between Penrose and the elementary school. Paving contractor is planning to mobilize in the next 2 weeks to prepare for paving and anticipate of beginning the mainline paving work. That too will be a huge milestone once they start paving, and there was some talk about trying to pave the whole thing at once, but now they're going to focus on just getting that half done, and then we'll flip over to the west half. $651,711 of the contract value has been spent to date, and the project is approximately 35% complete. Contractor is still behind schedule, but has made up ground on utility installations by providing a second crew. The contractor is hopeful to complete the mainline paving by substantial completion date, but Mid-America's remaining gas relocations may cause additional delays. And that's something we're meeting about on Wednesday to try to pin that down and when that can happen. I think Mid-American is pushing as hard as they can, but when we have storms and stuff, they also get pulled off for that, so. Is there any questions on North Shore? Vince was at our construction meeting this last week. There was a lot of discussion about schedule and keeping people on site whenever possible, so.
Do we have another meeting this Wednesday?
That's the prime contractor just arranged that today. I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
That's with Mid-American tomorrow, or Wednesday at 8:30.
Okay.
All right, moving on to McCook Lake grading projects, Phase 1 and 2.
So construction resumed last week on North Shore lots 21 and 23. Those are the Knox holding lots that we bought right on the corner and added to the Phase 1. The contractor expects to complete the grading and debris removal in this area over the next 2 weeks. One garage relocation is needed before contractors can complete the work, and that is up on wheels. It just hasn't moved. About $50,000 has been spent to date, and the project is approximately 40% complete. The work is not expected to be completed on time due to the garage relocation delays and inability to place riprap until lake elevations drop this fall and winter. So they'll have to come back and do some final lake work then. Phase 2, the contractor has equipment on site for Phase 1 grading project and plans to begin work as soon as they are completed with Phase 1 grading project. Phase 2, if you recall, is where they'll jump across and start filling the north lots. But that will not begin until the paving is done on the first half of North Shore Drive. So that's it. Any questions? The house over there has been moved off its foundation, or what's left of the foundation, to a location just in the back there. And that foundation, everything will be removed as part of the project.
Okay, moving on to organizational commissioner appointments. Amy?
Yeah, so according to our ordinance, every year we can choose, we can change positions if anybody wants to. So we bring it to you guys to decide what you want to do.
Is everybody comfortable with where they're at?
Totally.
Okay. Then I guess I'd look for a motion to
So moved.
reappoint the same department heads.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Financial,
All we have is the bills.
I'll make the motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, next item, may want to get a motion to move into executive session per SDCL 1-25-2 for legal matters.
I'll make the motion to move into executive session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, go into executive. All right, we need a motion to move out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And do we have a motion to take action?
I want to make a motion to give the staff direction to
To proceed,
to proceed with the new property. Or
proceed as we discussed. in
proceed
closed
as we
session.
discussed, yes.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. And then we need a motion to adjourn.
No,
Nope.
we have one more.
We have one more.
What did I miss?
Another,
Oh,
executive
there's a
session.
second one. It's also on legal matters, same code, 1-25-2. Is there a motion to move into executive session?
so moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay?
I'll make the motion to adjourn the executive session.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, there's no action necessary from the executive session, so we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion, so moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.